Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. By the time we ended our previous episode, we actually saw that Kaikeyi has asked for her boons. Dasratha Maharaja is now tied by the Satya Pasha. These are not physical ropes that are tying him. Pasha actually means rope. Satya Pasha is not a physical rope that is tying him. He is tied by the ropes of truth. And now he's tied up. He fell on the earth like a banana tree which has just faced a cyclone. He was totally clueless. He was absolutely shocked. He never heard this from Kaikeyi, and he always thought that she was very good in her heart and all. And now she asked for two boons. First one was the rule of the kingdom of Ayodhya, or the power in the kingdom of Ayodhya, or the crown of the kingdom of Ayodhya should be given to Bharata with all powers, and SriRamachandra should go to Vanavasa like a Muni for how many years? 9 and 5. She asked for Navapanchacha Varshani. So what does this Navapanchacha Varshani mean? The significance of this line is discussed a lot by a lot of commentators on Srimad Ramayana. And the reason they discuss this at length is in Treta Yuga, in the times of Sriramachandra, if you are out of a kingdom on a king's order for 14 years at a stretch, you lose all the rights on the throne of that particular kingdom. Instead of asking Chaturdasa Varshani, she asked for Navapanchacha Varshani, and the commentators here opined that the Devatas made her speak like that. Instead of saying Chaturdasa Varshani, it is Navapanchacha Varshani. She asked for a 9-year exile and a 5-year exile, and that was not continuous when she asked for it. She just asked for a 9-year and a 5-year exile. But Sri Ramachandra tied both of them together. Hence, he did not get a royal order for a 14-year continuous Vanavasa, or staying in the forest, or leaving the country. What he got was a simple 9 plus 5, and he joined that 9 plus 5 and he made 14. So since it was not a king order for 14 continuous years, it was and it was his choice to do it 9 plus 5 together. Hence, he doesn't lose the right on the throne, is what the commentators mentioned there. Now let's get back our Itihasa, where we are, where the Raja has just fallen on the earth as if he was hit by a cyclone. Now he wakes up, he loses his mind for some time, he loses his consciousness for some time, and then he wakes up, and then he says, "Hey Kaikeyi, why are you talking like this? What happened to you? You were such a good person before. Why do you want me to send Sri Ramachandra into exile? This is something that I can't stand. I can't stand not being there with Sri Ramachandra. And above all, Sri Ramachandra always saw you like his mother. And in fact, if you have asked him for anything till date, Sri Ramachandra complied. He gave you everything you wanted from him. And many a times you yourself, Kaikeyi, told me that Bharata and Sri Ramachandra are same to you. And in fact, you loved Sri Ramachandra more than Bharata. Then why are you doing this? Why are you forcing me into this? Please don't do this. I have called for a huge assembly of people. I have discussed this matter with all of them. And finally, we all have come to a conclusion on this. And hence, Sri Rama Pattabhisheka is happening, or Sri Ramachandra's Yuvarajya Pattabhisheka is happening. Then why are you doing this to us?" Now Kaikeyi said, "No, you have given me a word, and you have to stand by what you have told me. You have to stand by the word that you have uttered. And you come from a family where nobody speaks a lie." There's a wonderful line in Hindi. Whenever I hear them singing this, it's such a wonderful feeling, and I always get mesmerized by it. Raghukula Riti Sadachali Ai Pran Jai Par Vachana Na Jai. So the way of life of Raghukula, or the Ikshvaku Vamsha, is such that their life might go, but their word will not go. That's the reputation that Vamsha has. And now Kaikeyi, though she has not uttered this verse probably, but she has tried to bring in this particular point to put Dasharatha back in the spot. And now Dasharatha is saying, "See, I'll give you whatever you want. Ask for anything, but not these two." And she was extremely adamant. And now Dasharatha again loses consciousness, and after some time he again comes back to his senses, and then he says, "You are the worst person. You are a kalanka on the Kekaya Vamsa, on the family in which you are born into. You should not be doing this. Why are you doing this to me? This is not fair. Kaikeyi, Rama is a wonderful person, and tomorrow when I die, or if I go to Swarga, what will I say to people there?" And then he also says, "Forget going to Swarga. Even on the earth, if my Samanta kings come, all the kings who have have come from all the parts of the world, when they are all sitting there and they are saying, see this one old man, he has become a moodha, and he had to go by what his wife, just because his wife had a whim or a fancy. He discussed with all of us about the succession of the Chakravarti. With all of us, we all gave our opinion, and now this person who is ruling this entire Bhumandala almost is now going back on his word just because his wife said him so, or one of his wives just put him on a spot. How will I show my face? Oh Kaikeyi, please try to understand. This man now was trying to put all sorts of defenses in front of Kaikeyi, but Kaikeyi was not relenting. She was not yielding from her position, and she was very adamant, and she was saying that you gave me a word not now, many years ago. You gave it to me. Even tonight when you came here, you said that you would do something that actually makes me happy. This is the thing that's going to make me happy, and hence you don't have an option, but you will have to comply by what I say. Now, Dasratha Maharaja again lost his consciousness. This one night of Dasratha Maharaja, when we read in Srimad Ramayana, right, it's heart-wrenching. It's like the pain that old man is going through, that the way it's described in Ramayana, it's very tough for anyone to read it and not have tears in his eyes. So Dasratha Maharaja is succumbing to this pain, and again he gains his consciousness and says, you are a Duratma, you are doing something that is going to put your entire clan, your entire Vamsha, your entire Vamsha will hang its head in shame just because of your act that you're doing today. Please don't do this. And he now says, do you think Bharata will take this kingdom? No, Bharata is not going to take this kingdom. You don't know Bharata, I know him. Bharata will come and he'll reject this kingdom. Even before that, what would happen? The moment I send SriRamachandra to Vanavasa, I'll not live. I'll not live for a lot of time. I'll die. And after I die, Bharata will come. He'll not like this. He'll not like the whole thing that you have done. And he will rebel against you. And he'll go back and request SriRamachandra to come. He'll reject this kingdom. He'll reject these honors. And not just Bharata, every person of Ayodhya is going to reject this entire proposal. And then Kausalya will be against you. Sumitra will be against you, the entire Ayodhya will be against you. Then how do you think you're going to rule this kingdom? And if Bharata ever feels that he has to rule this kingdom in the place of Sri Ramachandra, I am telling you, after my death, Bharata should not even be let to do the Dahana Samskaras and the other rituals which are supposed to be done for a dead king. He is not supposed to do all that stuff. He says all this, but Kaikeyi does not relent. And in one of the conversations, Kaikeyi actually crosses the line and she says, I know what you're thinking, oh Dasratha Maharaja. The moment Sri Ramachandra becomes the king, you want to go back to Kausalya and enjoy with her happily. I am not going to let you do that. Now Dasratha, he says about this, he says about how he's going to die and how the whole bad things are going to happen to all of them. He again tries to convince her, he again requests her, she again does not relent, and this cycle repeats for a number of times. And Dasratha Maharaja does his last ditch attempts, and here Kaikeyi brings in a very strong line of argument. She says, why are you crying like this? All you need to do is keep your word. Imagine you are not keeping your word and you are making Sri Ramachandra the king, and when you die, when you go to heaven, how are you going to face the other kings or all your ancestors? How are you going to see them? How are you going to face them? All those Rajarshis over there, they are going to look at you and say, he is the person who has spoken a lie. He is the person who was not able to stand his ground when it comes to truth. Then how are you going to face them? This puts Dasratha Maharaja in another fix. He again requests, but she is not relenting, and this argument goes on back and forth, and finally Dasratha Maharaja loses his senses again and he falls on the floor. He's sleeping on the floor. The night passes away and it's the dawn time. Even before the pre-dawn, the Vandi and the Magadha, means those people who come to the king and talk about the good and great things previous people in his lineage did, the ancestors of him, whatever great things they did and what are the great things this king is supposed to do, those will be spoken by Vandi and Magadha. They and others come and try to wake up the king. That's how the king's day normally starts, and they are at Dasharatha's doorstep now. Now what is going to happen? How is the king going to face them? All this we are going to see in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om tthat. Sarvam Sri Sadguru Sai Maharaj Swami Charanarvindar Pranamastu. Swasti. Jai Shri Ram.